Hello everyone, my name's Evil Spirit and welcome to the Vulture Culture Podcast, the only podcast that eats the dead while also beating a dead horse. Today's episode, we are talking about Helluva Boss, but I'm not doing this alone. I'm actually here with my co-hosts, RoxyReviews and Sirsplaysalot.
Hello.
Picklefish banana vanilla chips sandwich. I don't know what to say at first.
So how are you guys doing today, actually? Since...
I am once again trying to fully complete Crash Bandicoot 4, so my day has been
Great.
well hell. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Sirsplaysalot?
I went to Wendy's for dinner. That's pretty good.
It's Wendy's. I haven't had Wendy's in a long time. You didn't think to get me any. Damn. I'm doing pretty well myself, actually. And I know that we're all excited for today's episode, because we're talking about the best TV show, or best YouTube show ever conceived.
And by best, you mean one of the most divisive.
The greatest TV media ever. My greatest, I mean, most entertaining?
I don't even know if I call it entertaining.
I mean, like I said, it's pretty divisive.
Very
one
divisive.
Would say.
And I mean, I guess since we're talking about the show, should we start with talking about the pilot, or should we talk about just the show itself, kind of just get into the nitty-gritty of it? Like, what should we talk about first?
I guess our overall, like, non-spoilery thoughts first, then we dive into it.
Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. So, actually, let me ask you this. What was your guys' first introduction into Helluva Boss? Roxy, we'll start with you, then Sirsplaysalot, then me. Like, what...
when Season 1, Episode 2 first released, it just appeared in my YouTube, on my YouTube feed, and I was like, a show on YouTube. So I watched the episode, and I was like, hey, that was pretty good. I'll watch, and then I looked at the channel, saw the pilot in the first episode, and I was like, where the fuck is Arcadia? I thought she was the main character.
So you started with episode 4. Or episode 2.
No,
Sorry.
Episode 2. Although the pilot isn't technically an episode, but if you want to go in chronological order of release, then you could say I started with the third thing to come out again.
Yeah. Sirsplaysalot.
Alright, basically, I've heard of it before, but I didn't check it out till, much later. Much later, I mean, around spring 2021, where someone on another server shared it, and they're like, hey, Christina V's in this. And I was like, oh my god, Christina V, the voice of Shantae? And then I went back to episode 1 and watched it up to that point just to get caught up. And I've been hooked ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was my...
Oh. Did you have more to say?
So yeah, it was my my love for the character Shantae and her voice actor that got me into this, essentially.
I mean, hey, that... so my introduction was during a... me and my buddy, Gladriel, we were both up late playing through the video game known as Resident Evil 5 co-op. And, I think during the playthrough or sometime after we got done recording it, they asked me if I've seen Helluva Boss. And I said, no, I didn't see anything about it. I never watched it. I never gotten anything out of it. And he said, oh, you should. We could start with episode 1. And I watched through all of season 1 in a day. It didn't take me very long. And ever since, I've been watching the show on a semi-regular basis. And that's how I got started with Helluva Boss. Personally.
Cool.
So yeah, that's our that's the podcast episode. Thank you all for watching. No, I'm kidding. No. We still got a lot more to go through. I guess the main question is who's everybody's favorite characters. If you don't have one, you don't have to say one. Roxy, we can start with you and then go down the line again. So, who's your favorite character?
Well, you already know.
Oh,
but then again, the audience doesn't.
Yeah.
How do I explain this?
Oh no.
Do you?
Oh man. I mean,
you know what? Let me just say, I was glad when she returned because I never thought we would see her again.
Beelzebub, yeah.
Wow,
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
If I had to pick like one favorite, or maybe two, probably Team Eminem. You know, Roxy and Millie.
True.
Only because I like the voice. Two, I like their personalities. And three, I just find them to be a really cute couple.
Yeah. For me, Stolas, up until recently, but
I've stopped liking him as the series goes on. I mean, to be fair, he's always been like a terrible person, but as the series goes on, they stop even acknowledging the fact that he does.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, and we'll get into it. Yeah, no, we'll get into
that. I didn't mind when he was just like a really creepy bad guy and a terrible father in the show House of the Terrible for him.
Yeah.
I thought I liked that. You know?
Yeah, no, I get you. We'll talk about Stolas. I guess we'll talk about the characters here in a minute fully as we go on. So, I guess since Helluva Boss Season 2 came out, are we all caught up on, like, just the main show? We don't have to go over the shorts. I have failed to see I have failed.
I have seen the shorts, by the way.
I have not seen the shorts. So.
I've seen the shorts.
Well, at least you guys did. You guys did your homework. I didn't. This is normal for me.
Yeah.
Just gonna eat off your opinions and just be like, oh yeah, no, I agree with that. Even though I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
It's like the corporate stuff out from Family Guy. Just everything we say, even if it's contradictory, you have to agree with us.
Yeah, exactly. But you just said you hated it. Yeah. It's like fucking have like a entire breakdown.
You short circuit and then explode.
Yeah, exactly. That would be me because I have not seen the shorts. I've heard that they're all right, but I just haven't gotten to them.
Well, okay, the first short is actually really good because, you know, Millie finally gets to be in a starring role.
Of course, the one role is like they're...
Oh my god! She does exist.
Oh my god, they acknowledge, finally.
An imp who exists.
An imp who exists. That is Millie, sadly. I guess since we're on the topic, should we just like go over certain characters, or should we go over certain episodes? Should we? What do you guys want to do?
I feel like we should go over the characters rather than the episodes.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we can get it, because here's the thing: if we discuss the characters, we'll inevitably get into discussion about how they act in certain episodes.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess since we're going to start with the characters, I think the easiest ones we can talk about first is let's start with the main man. Well, you know what? Let's save off the main man. Let's talk about Luna, who I would say is probably the most underdeveloped character of the show so far. Like, aside Millie, of course, but we'll get to Millie.
She exists, so people will be like, I don't know.
For the AI companies.
It's the furry character. Yay. Yay, let's go. I say while also
being a furry.
Acting like
also
that.
Being a furry. I mean, she's still pretty cool. I like her.
I would say for
None,
me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sirsplaysalot.
not in that way. I like her as a character.
Character.
She's
Yeah.
pretty badass. I like her
I.
dynamic with Blitz and the gang.
hmm I would say the one big thing I do not like about her character is the fact that we don't really see her all that much. She gets like her own episodes, but like outside of that, not really much else.
Well, okay. If we're gonna, and funnily enough, she's not even the character who gets shafted the most in that way.
Yeah, like
You already know. You already know who I'm referring
Millie.
because I was referring to Octavian.
Hmm. Um, we can go over her probably later on because she's not like Octavia barely makes any appearances aside like a few small episodes. But like um Luna is one of the characters that like when I first was introduced to the show, Luna was like the first introduction that I ever
Oh yeah,
got.
she was the only. She was the only. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, oh no, I was just gonna say it was the only character that we like that the community like fucking went wild for. Which I mean,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
oh,
I did it again.
no, you're good. You're good. It's it's Discord latency. You're good. It's mostly just because of the fact that we're getting to the point where, and most shows is like, oh, this character looks hot. Watch the show. I mean, that goes for any show at this point. But
Yeah. So she was the only character I had ever seen pictures of before watching the show because of
mhm.
obvious reasons.
Yeah,
Obvious reasons, huh?
yeah. Oh yeah. We don't talk about those obvious reasons. I wonder why. Anyways, but yeah, one of the biggest things about the show was like she was, by all accords, the main character, and or like from what I've seen, because like someone in my school back when I was still in high school was wearing a hoodie that had Luna on it, and I was
Somebody at my house also did that.
yeah, like I was like, okay, so obviously this character plays a huge role. Then come to find out, I watch the show, she really doesn't like outside of
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I. Okay, this isn't actually a very.
He's
This is actually
sort
a
of.
pretty
Oh, sorry.
disingenuous comparison because he still plays a big role. But I remember seeing somebody who said that they played Undertale, and because of how the internet reacted to it, they actually thought Sans was the main character. They were confused and was confused.
yeah, because a lot of people
Yeah,
thought
Yeah, it can be like that sometimes.
yeah, because like I mean, if you just show someone like obviously the most monumental part, the Sans boss fight, people are going to be like, oh my god, this guy's like the main final boss, and then like they play through it, and then they're like, well, he didn't really do a whole lot. I didn't even fight him at the end. Like
no, he's just
Oh,
he's
he's just a chill skeleton guy.
a joke character, really.
yeah, I mean like that's what
A phenomenal joke character, but like his existence within the story is meant to be funny
yeah,
and
like
not.
and then like the twists at the end, like whenever you do the other route. But like that, I mean, but the thing is with a show you can't really do that because it's a TV show, so it's in a linear. You watch to the end. That's what you do with a TV show. Unlike a game where you can do whatever you want to an extent. But with this show, it's like they didn't really do that. They kind of just dropped the ball. I guess is like the right word.
It feels like you know what it feels like, honestly.
What?
Oh, what?
So it feels, or at least with season one. Season one had 8 episodes, so it being mostly focused on. So and it was pretty focused, honestly. Season one with the characters it chose to base the episodes around.
Mm-hmm.
But season two mostly just wants to talk about Blitz and Solar.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't care about the
Yeah.
rest of the cast.
yeah. Like everything else was just kind of like even like I mean,
Sideline for a bit.
And not just that. I pointed it out in the Discord server, but like it literally feels like they changed what the story was after season one because they wanted people to like the characters more.
yeah, and I mean, I get wanting to have like the characters more seen as likable and lovable, and oh my god, these characters are actually really cool. But like the main thing is like, there's a reason why people like Luke Skywalker because other than Raya from like the Star Wars series, because at the end of the day, like Luke Skywalker had more development, he was more like better written and had more time in the oven. While Raya, they kind of, or not Raya, Ray from
Ray.
You don't even
yeah Ray Raya.
you don't even need
Ray and the
you don't
Last
even need
Dragon.
your characters. You don't even need your characters to really have likable traits for people to like him. Like people like Hannibal Lecter.
I mean, people also like, but like they like him because we'll talk about the villains later. We're mostly focused on Luna. Luna is basically kind of just a side character for nothing. Like I don't see the reasons why they didn't just write a more
If
tightly
it's partly
character.
just to like give Blitz more humanity, like, oh, he has an adopted daughter.
Yeah, that's
There's
that's
like a
that's
connection between them.
yeah, that's cool and all, but it's like whenever like we don't see her do a whole lot, it kind of feels like, oh, that sucks because like
She feels like she just exists for fans to go awooga.
yeah,
Honestly.
aside like I think she had one episode dedicated to herself, and that was when she went to the party.
Well, no, she had two. Well, she also like
No, she played
shared
a
the
major
focus.
part in like seeing stars, where
She
they had to
sh- she
find
shared the fo-
Octavia.
she shared the focus in Spring Break.
And then I guess we should talk about the next.
I guess, what? But I mean, in Truth Seekers, everybody except Solus gets to be there for most of it.
True. I guess we'll go on to the next.
And then Solus just comes out of nowhere to save them.
Yeah. Okay. I guess since are we all done talking about Stolas?
We're
Or
just
not?
gonna
Sorry,
talk about
sorry,
Luna.
Luna. Sorry, not Stolas. God, I got that. My mind jittered a bit. I guess now we'll move on to the second member of IMP, Millie. I feel like we know.
And by
Millie.
second,
I would say Millie has like more development than Luna, because we actually get to see her origin a bit more. Unlike,
well, we at least get to see her family and how she gets along with them.
yeah, exactly.
But
That's
I
what.
mean,
Yeah.
you can't really do that with Luna since she's coming along.
Yeah, mostly because like there isn't. You can't do a whole lot with it if it's not like if we don't see the how they got there. You know, it's kind of like, well, how did they get there? And it's like,
Oh yeah, unless it's like unless the show decides to go like, oh, somebody killed my family and I was framed and sent to the pound or something
yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
What show are you referring to in that?
A little movie called The Flash. Sorry, my bad. But yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking of the Flash's dad.
yeah.
Oh wait,
Uh,
that, yeah.
Oh God, maybe we should talk about the Flash in one of these episodes. I would not mind to tear that movie a
Oh,
fucking apart.
I have not seen the Flash movie, but if you want to talk about the Flash TV show,
I haven't seen Flash TV show.
I have not seen the Flash TV show. I've been told not to watch
oh
it.
my god,
Is it bad?
Oh my god, that would be a really funny episode. Just me monologuing about the
this
4
one out of
seasons
context
Flash
clip
TV
where
show.
Grodd goes back in time to kill Obama.
Okay, so
But that's how it was.
I guess since we are let's take it back to Luna or not Luna, Millie.
Really?
Jesus. We got a lot to say about do we have anything we want to say about Millie?
He's such a wasted character.
Yeah, I mean
So here's the
I
thing.
see the argument, but I kind of...
What's
So
up?
here's the thing. The show starting off used her and Moxie's relationship as a direct contrast to Blitz and Stolas,
Yeah.
But yeah, to show us what
But then in Unhappy Campers, they just started having they also had Moxie be a petty asshole. So I really don't like it.
They thankfully do make up in the end, and they still love each other, but I don't get when people say that ruins their relationship. It's like, what?
It's not ruined, but it is out of character.
Final act.
That isn't something that they would. That's not how they would ever act.
Yeah. I see what you're meaning. My main thing about Millie was, I just want her to be more vocal points in episodes rather than kind of being stuck to the side. Like she had like a short. I know that. I know that she had a short. I
Yeah,
just haven't.
I was gonna say as a joke, would you settle for a 5 minute short where
No.
she also shares the spotlight, where she shares the
Yeah.
spotlight with her sister, who is even less of a character?
Yeah. Would you rather? Would you rather? It's like, okay, the best we can offer you is a short. All right, that's all we can do. We can't do much else. It's like, I mean, I get like there's.
No. I find it especially funny because the short's like, oh man,
And
she's gonna go see her sister more often. You know, her sister who is also barely in the show.
Oh.
I mean, with the ending of season 2, I think Millie might get more screen time.
Yeah, actually,
Spotlight.
I guess we should talk about that. So at the for anybody who hasn't watched, you probably should.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Big spoilers. At the end of season 2, it is revealed that Millie is pregnant, and I'm just gonna go off on a limb. I don't think it's I feel like, and I don't want to sound rude here. I feel like the twist is it's not going to be Moxie's. I feel like that's going to be the twist.
I mean, was implied early on that she pegs Moxie, so
It genuinely
maybe
feels like they
this-
had no idea what to do with her, so they were just like, yes.
But
You know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be the twist. Is that it's not going to be Moxie's, and it's going to be someone else's.
It's mine.
It's not.
I did it.
Why is it purple?
Oh my god!
That would be so.
Why, Roxy?
But mainly because I feel like
she was really tired and misread my name as Moxie
obviously.
at one time.
Oh, you're gonna have to pay child support now. Anyways, what I was going to say was.
Oh my god! Can you even? Oh no. Okay. You know what? Imagine if this is hypothetical, but imagine if they started season 3 with Millie just getting an abortion.
Oh, that'd be horrible. But it would also be.
Oh my god!
But cause I think what they're going to actually do is that they're going to set up it's either going to be Moxie's or it's not, and if it's not Moxie's, then it's going to be what happened, and it's like, oh well, a long time ago I met this one guy and I thought it was it's like a whole Chaz or someone else, and it's like, oh, but I thought it was you, Moxie, but I fucked up.
Horrible, by the way. I don't want Chaz to come back in any way, shape, or form.
Why does the baby look like Stryker?
God, oh my god, if it was Stryker. I want to talk about Stryker later, but because I have a whole lot to say about him, but we'll get to that when we get to the villains. But Millie's big thing, I kind of wish they didn't do it off camera. I wish that they showed it, not her getting pregnant, but showing she's been getting symptoms or getting some you slowly.
They rushed it in the last episode of the season. Not even the one where she scares the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. Not even the one not the one episode where we get to see
which takes place literally 2 months later, right?
Yeah.
No, it takes place 2 months later because because Halloween and Christmas are less than 2 months apart, and because the previous episode, not even the one where she's in the spotlight, but the previous episode takes place in Halloween.
Yeah.
So it's literally less than 2 months later.
So I mean, the big thing though is if you, I thought about it and I was like, well, one of the big things was why did we not see any earlier signs of this? I mean, honestly, if it was she didn't do any more missions because she was pregnant, the most we got was oh well, she doesn't drink the bottle, and it's okay, but that's not enough. We need to see what happened, how did she get pregnant? I mean, we don't need to know, we don't need to go into explicit details. I know how babies are made, but I don't need all the details.
Well, also just
because she pegged Moxie.
So she's all afraid, I guess, probably because she thinks that she can't be an assassin. But it's not like that's the only job at IMT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's more she's going to miss the thrill of being in action.
Probably.
Well, not
being able to work.
In addition, think about this. So she can, if you want her to still be employed, which, well, I mean, theoretically, So if you want her to still be employed, you know what they could do?
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe have her sister watch over the child while she's doing this. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm trying to
Imagine
come
if
up.
Sally Mae joins Imp. That would be pretty cool.
I mean, I'm
Maybe they'll do that. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, they're setting her up as being a bigger part coming forward, even though she only has, even though she only has like 3 lines in both seasons of
true,
the show.
but oh wait, but I guess we just kind of have to wait and see, and know what they're gonna do because like we have, like we got a while until season 3 comes out, but like Millie up to this point,
I mean,
she's just been a
assuming it even
badass. Like
does come out.
what?
I said, assuming it even does come out. Like, I don't know. There's like an executive order saying you can't have media with that sort of stuff. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe we'll
I'm
never
going to
know.
be surprised if I would not put it past Trump to try.
Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
And then
Oh, jeez.
oh geez, Rick. Sorry, that's just
Oh, well,
Oh, oh,
actually, you know
jeez.
what? No. Then it would, and maybe it wouldn't happen because Elon Musk is like Trump's overlord, and Elon Musk likes Rick and Morty, and Rick and Morty has a rape scene in it. So
oh God, Jesus, man.
Rick,
Oh my
Rick and Morty
God.
saves
All right, all right, all
Rick
right, all
and
right.
Morty.
Back to funny haha demon show. We let's talk about one of the biggest things about the upcoming Rise of Stars because when you got Millie, you got Moxie. How do you guys think Moxie will react to it?
Hmm.
I don't know. I think he'd be excited.
Either overjoyed or like nervous as all hell
Probably.
of over being a father.
I think realistically, given how his character is the other ones in the company, I think he would actually be.
Well, since we're on to him now, does anybody actually have any final thoughts on Millie before we move on? Or are you guys just ready to...
No.
How is
Okay.
it possible to have a final thought?
I mean,
Wow.
alright, so let's now talk about Moxie, because Moxie is... Well,
Awesome.
Moxie, he's alright, like... I feel bad that, like, out of
He's
everything...
probably the most. I mean, he's probably the most competently written character in the entire show because it's not like it's like the one time he acts out of character, the show appropriately has him realize that that's wrong and he apologizes. But everybody else in the show, like whenever they do something bad, they're just I don't know. It's
Yeah,
usually played off for
yeah,
laughs.
so he's easily the most likable character.
Yeah. I would say so. Like, out of all of it, he is probably one of the more likable characters. But the main question I have is like, since Moxie is just one of the better characters, should we even really talk about him fully? I mean, like, he does some cool things from time to time, like in certain episodes. Like, we also, I think we know about him as much as we know about Blitz. Like, and that's saying something because like we know who his family is, we know what happened to his family. Like, there's a lot more to it than just what we got of Blitz. You know?
Well, yeah, he's honestly he has the material necessary to be a protagonist.
Yeah. And
Unlike
Yeah.
unlike half of the cast.
sorry. Like, I agree with that because we got to the point of like we just know what he's done. We know what his life was like beforehand. So what do you have to say? Sorry, what do you have to say, Sirsplaysalot? Because I know you were going to talk.
I forgot. Fuck.
It's alright.
Sorry. I think I interrupted you.
I interrupted him too. My bad. My bad, sir. But I guess the bigger question is, moving forward on Helluva Boss, I hope that he continues to be a good character. Because even season 2, he was pretty good with the limited amount of time we've
I
seen
get the
him.
feeling he would make a good dad.
I hope
better
so.
than his actual dad.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. People who are
More to clear.
people who are actually afraid of messing up their child are actually way better parents than people who think they're going to do great.
Yeah. I think that's actually.
So, given how much like anxiety he has throughout the show, he's most likely going to be nervous about it, but still optimistic.
Yeah. We just gotta hope that he's gonna be that these characters are gonna. Honestly, I'm mostly wondering how the entire cast will react, but we're not to that point yet. We don't like the only character who knows other than Millie is her sister. So
Who's not really in the
there.
show, so that
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm also
I think
guessing.
she's made more appearances in merchandise than the actual show.
That's actually true. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's actually. Hey, also is like the one like trans character. So thanks.
Thanks.
I mean, at least she's gonna have a bigger role.
Yeah,
soon.
take that, Disney.
Never say, never speculate. You'll be put down. I
Uh,
mean, let down. Sorry.
But
God.
I show up. I
Um,
show up to Matt Pat's house with a euthanasia.
all right. I guess the next. I mean, do we have really anything we want to say about Moxie, other than he's a pretty good character?
No, like he's
no,
out
I
of
think
the main cast, he's easily the best written one.
yeah.
All right.
Except, I guess before we go Blitz, we go Stolas.
Should we? Do you guys want to go Stolas?
I hate him.
I hate.
Okay, we're just getting right into it.
All right. Okay. Let's do this. Stolas, the tentacle prince of hell. I think that's what they call him.
He's part of the Goetia family.
Yeah, he's part of that. Which, by the way, that isn't Goetia actually like a rank of demons, not a family. Whatever.
Whatever. They're true bloods apparently. So. Or
His
blue
father's
bloods.
Jafar, which is awesome.
I do like the voice acting of the father of the show. My father.
My father.
The show.
A knife.
The show does a great job with, like, I mean, honestly, no, the show doesn't do a good job with Stolas because after season 1, like, I felt like they didn't really know what to do after the whole breakup arc.
Well, because in season 1, he was just like a really horny, creepy guy taking advantage of the classist system in a bad father. And the show knew about that and properly called him out and treated him poorly.
In season 2, we kind of understood more about him, like his childhood and why he cheated in the first place, because his wife's a piece of shit. Treated him badly.
By the way, they went out of their way to just make it so that there's no moral complication as to him doing that. They're just like, oh no, his wife's a bitch. He's miserable.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's just really weird because when he gives him his excuse for why he stayed with her for so long, he doesn't even refer to Octavia being dude. Does anybody else find that strange? Like he doesn't even seem to think of her as a person.
Wait, he didn't? I thought he did.
Yeah, he said, "I only." He said. He literally said, "We only got together to birth an heir. She's 17 now, and I only stayed with you so that girl could have a normal life. That's it. That's all he doesn't even say her. He doesn't even say her name.
Damn, that's fucked. I guess we should also talk about Octavia.
The show wants us to think.
I guess they're kind of a package deal.
That he cares about her. But he literally went into court to stop the court and thought that he was going to get executed, and only after he finds out he wasn't going to get executed does he say, "Hey, wait a second, what's going to happen to her?"
And then they were like,
and he still doesn't even mention her by name. Then,
damn.
I mean,
he says, "What's going to happen to my daughter?"
I guess we should talk about Stolas and Octavia because, like, I mean, they don't really get a whole lot of development together. Like, we see her a
I mean,
few
we see
times, and then she's kicked off.
Lululand, Seeing Stars.
Can we?
Somehow an even more wasted character than probably the most wasted character in the entire show.
Honestly,
Actually,
Wait.
because she's actually likable. Like, but they never do anything with her unless it's related to her fucking dad.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they were like, oh, let's do an episode where Stolas and... Or, like, not Stolas. Like, let's have Octavia have...
We don't get to see her unless it's related to fucking Stolas. Why?
My guess, and this is just kind of... Maybe the voice actor, but I don't know who plays... I don't know who
That's
plays...
probably why Luna got shafted a bit during the middle of season 2, I heard. Or theorized.
Oh, because Erica Lindbeck's fiance died, so they gave her a break. Which, okay, that's completely fair. I think that's a good thing.
What happened?
Oh.
Uh,
I actually didn't know about that.
Wait, what?
Erica Lindbeck's fiance died.
Wait, I don't know if it's Linebacker or Lindbeck. I apologize if I'm doing it wrong. But yeah, her fiance died.
Oh, okay. So she was kind of busy with that. That makes a whole lot of sense. Okay. Which, I mean, like, okay, I guess we should all clarify. When we're talking about the show, we're not directly attacking actors or... Like, obviously, there's a whole lot of things that happen behind the scenes that none of us knows about, so we can't... We're not, like... Yeah. We're criticizing the writing. We're not criticizing the people behind the writing. Like, I mean, we're criticizing their work. We're not criticizing them as people.
We're not... Yeah. We're not Lily Orchard here. We're not gonna...
Yeah, we're not... Oh, God. I forgot about that person for, like, a second. Lily Orchard, no!
But back to Helluva Boss.
We're not going to get a nostalgia critic cyberbullying Jake Lloyd in his... for being in a movie he didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, we're just talking about our grievances with the show. We're not really trying to be like, oh my God, why don't they just do that? Like... Obviously, if something that happens in real life happens, obviously they should focus on that, not what some...
I think focusing on the well-being of the people who work on your show is more important.
Yeah, than like a TV show, or a YouTube show. But, I guess along with that, we should talk about just overall, I think the show really did, with Octavia specifically...
Overall, we're skipping Blitz?
No, we're still on Octavia and...
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Yeah. And I will say, it really did start getting on my nerves whenever I was, like, watching the show, and then it's like, oh, well, these characters do matter because they're... And it's like, okay, but Octavia doesn't do anything. Like, everybody kept praising this character, and it's like, Octavia doesn't do anything outside of just, you know...
She only exists... It's especially weird because from what we see of her, she seems to be a likable, decent person.
Yeah, like, she doesn't kick puppies on her spare time, so that obviously makes her better than Blitzo, but, I mean, at the same time, it's like, we don't see her do anything else. Like, I mean... Yeah, like, and then there's even, like, and then, like, with Stolas, it's like, Stolas doesn't even mention half the time that he has a daughter. I mean, it's fine with SpongeBob, because with SpongeBob, they're not trying to keep a continuity. But for this show, it's like, dude, Stolas has a daughter. He has a bitch wife that doesn't like him, that he divorced because he had an affair with Blitz. Like, do something with that. Which also, I will say, one of the biggest grievances I have with this entire show is the fact that, like, characters come and go, and then, like, the reason why they're gone is just because, like, as in story reason, it's like, oh, well, they're there doing this, haha. And it's like, okay, but can we see that? Like, why do we not see Millie or...
So, the reason we never see the family from episode 5 is because they're in a different place. So?
Yeah, like...
Literally, all you need to do is have, I don't know, show Millie on a phone call with him.
Yeah. Which, oh, goodness. Okay, but yeah, Stolas is just a horrible, horrible written character. And
not just that, but the show expects us to feel sad when Octavia's like, "Hey, get out of my life." No, She has every right to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, why am I supposed to feel bad for this guy who was a horrible pain? Um, like multiple times throughout the series, he needed to learn to be a better parent, but he was like, I'm gonna be a better parent, and then he wasn't.
Okay. I guess
I
Stolas
mean,
is.
definitely felt
Oh,
stakes
go
for
ahead.
like the mastermind episode is he did learn to like just let go of Blitz since it wasn't working out, and then oh wait, I do like you still deep
No,
down.
so literally the previous or no, sorry, 2 episodes before that he moved on.
Yeah.
There's more move on. Like this relationship can't work out, but there's like I'm still gonna save you because
Worked out.
I still like you as
Desperately,
a
I don't know why
friend,
the show
person,
so
whatever.
desperately. Why does the show so desperately want us to think they should be together? They're incompatible.
I mean, that's even like one thing I was going to bring up was like, in like the finale, like the two-parter finale. Yes, I get like, Stolas wouldn't let Blitz die, like for any reason. Like, I mean, unless he did something like obviously horrible, but like for the rest of the characters, it's like, why are you? I can't. I'm trying to find the right words. It's like, why are you living with him? Like that was my question the entire time. It's like, why are you living with him? Like you don't have to. Like you can. Like I get like you lost your royalty status and whatever, but like you don't have to live with him. You can live somewhere else, far away.
Like, where else would he even go? He's poor.
But that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I get like he got like a normal job with. Didn't they get a normal job with him? But it's like,
Yeah, he
if,
works
yeah,
at
he works
the
with him.
office.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, yeah. At that point, I would have been like, fuck it. I'm moving out. Like I'll find my own place to live. And I get like he doesn't really have a whole lot of places to go, but still, I would have been more like, yeah, I don't want to live with someone that broke my heart. Honestly, I feel like who was it? Who's Blitz's ex that we see in that one episode? The episode Verosika. I feel like Verosika would have taken him in just fine. Or at
she literally got it. She likes him. She likes Stolas.
Yeah, she likes Stolas. Same with that random imp guy in the party we never see again.
Yeah, that's another.
Weird.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, where did that go? He died.
Yep.
He just died. That's my guess. That's my head.
The random imp dies and doesn't come back.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, why?
Well, I'm pretty sure but the point still stands.
What were you saying, Roxy? Sorry.
I said I'm pretty sure there's a succubus, but the point still stands.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Like that's, like, I mean, honestly, that would have been an interesting plot line that Stolas saves his life, and then whenever Blitz sees him, Stolas is like, oh, that was a one-time thing.
He cares enough about him to not let him to die the thing.
Yeah, like he's like, yeah, I wouldn't let you die for something I did, but this does not mean anything. But like they act like they're back together again. I just don't get it. Like,
and it's weird because they've gotten back together 3 times.
Yeah, I think that might be actually right.
No. So after Ozzy's, they've gotten together 3 times, not back together. They've gotten back together twice, and they've gotten together 3 times. One is when the affair started. Two was after Ozzy's, but after they split up there, and then 3 is
more of a fight rather than a
in
split up.
Mastermind.
That's crazy.
It's very complicated with Stolas. Like, first he was just into Blitz for pleasure, and then it was maybe it can work out. And it was like, no. And then
what is Blitz see in this
again.
guy?
Like,
what does Blitz see in this guy?
I mean, like he said, I think he said like he was just always horny. Like that's the entire reason, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, at first.
Yeah, then like he actually started developing feelings. I think.
Relationships can be messy.
No, trust me.
I say that as a hopeless romantic myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird that like, cause Stolas. I mean, honestly, I'll just be that honest. I don't see why Stolas likes Blitz. Like, Blitz isn't much better.
I don't get why. I don't get why either of them like each other, really.
Like, okay, I guess now we can
Well-
talk about the big man now, I guess, if you guys are ready.
The name's Blitzo. The O is silent.
Yeah. Like, that... Like, okay, let's talk about the main thing. Him and Stolas' relationship, I'm sorry, just does not work.
Not only is it terrible, but it literally like condones abuse.
Yeah. I guess we should talk about, one, how he treats his
Because
coworkers.
they are horrible to each other. And you know what? Fans of the show and even the show, so anytime I bring up how awful the people in the show like do things, like always committing murder and stuff, which isn't to say that can't mean the person is, that doesn't mean being a murderer doesn't necessarily mean a character can't be likable. But I do point out that they never face
It's
any.
just going to be a rough uphill battle to make them likable.
Well, I mean, actually, one of the best examples... I was just going to say this. One of the best examples...
I pointed this out. I pointed this out to fans of the show, and they were just like, "Oh, but you see, the times that you're pointing out where the characters do something awful, like forcing his daughter to work overtime to burn a bunch of things, throwing away the money and not paying his employees. You see, you shouldn't be mad at him for that because that's supposed to be funny.
But it's not.
That's a joke. That's a joke. Okay, even if it's meant to be a joke, he still did it.
I guess this depends on how the show itself treats it. Like, is it meant to be a funny thing or sad thing?
Well, it's like they want us to treat Blitzo's depression like it's serious. Like, oh, this is actually, like, fucking taking a mental toll on Blitz. But then it's like, later on it's like, oh, well, he's just eating ice cream, which, yes, that is a coping mechanism for when someone's sad they eat. But
he's fat now, laugh.
Yeah, it's like, no, Blitz. Like, he's eating ice cream, he's telling his employees to do shit.
Yeah, I will admit the tone can be a bit messy at times. Like, especially in episode 3, season 2, where we had that heavy scene with the flashback of Moxie growing up.
Yeah.
Then after that,
and then
he leaves the room and just see the dicks on the wall. It was like, wow, that was a bit of whiplash.
Yeah, that's a total whiplash. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's how it goes.
It's not as bad as Shrek the Third, though.
No. But, like, and even, like, the big thing that I have the biggest problem with Blitzo's character is just...
Here's the thing. The difference between that and Shrek the Third is that Shrek the Third is skippable.
Yeah, because, like, that's a full episode about... That's a whole episode
Moxie's,
about...
like, family life.
Yeah, that's his home life. It's... Like, that's very important. Like, we need to know what happened. Like, why is he trying to hide this secret? Oh, well, it makes sense. They're fucking mafia members.
Yeah, even with that, they do make Crimson like an intimidating villain still.
And we'll talk about the villain problem I have in a minute, because
okay, I will say, for as awful as it is tonally, the what is it? The joke about the debt, about it being like, okay, I'm bisexual. I mean, it's not specifically bisexual. It can also be like when you tell your parents it's trans or pansexual or whatever, and then the parents just go, "Congratulations, gay."
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
because that's what my parents did.
Yeah.
Also helps show how out of touch he is with his son.
And we'll get to the villains, because I have a whole lot to say about the villains and how they're written, because there's a lot to go over with all of them. But
I wasn't supposed to take Blitz seriously as villains, especially strikers.
We'll talk about them. We'll talk about them later. We'll talk about them later.
We'll talk about it later. Get back to Blitz.
All right, but Blitz himself, he is, honestly, I will say he is the poster child for the show. But like, the problem is like, he's not interesting fully. Like, to his full capability, Blitzo could be an amazing character, but like, that's the problem. He's not. He honestly, like, okay, he's a dick to everybody around him, like his coworkers. He's an asshole.
He's one of those. So here's the thing. I
always assume like he does that stuff to like hide his true feelings. Like,
okay. Honestly,
like the funny man.
The show has pretty much confirmed that he goes out of his way to push people away.
Yeah.
So him acting so annoyingly is fine if he's annoying to the other characters, but he's also just annoying in general to the audience.
Actually,
And
here's one of the best. Actually, I have a really good example of Blitzo's character. It's like if SpongeBob was being filmed around Mr. Krabs the entire time. Instead of being focused around SpongeBob, we are focusing on Mr. Krabs.
and by SpongeBob being nasty.
Yeah, it could be anybody. Because Mr. Krabs treats him like garbage. Honestly, you could even say it's like... You can honestly make the comparison that it's like if you're watching the show from Plankton's point of view. Or Squidward's. Or whoever who isn't like...
No, don't bring Squidward into this. Squidward is just
don't.
an actual likable guy.
Yeah, I mean, he is, but I'm meaning like more of like, we're seeing a grumpy guy be grumpy. That's what we're seeing in this show. And like, that sucks because like, he's also supposed to be likable. And like, there's nothing wrong with having depressing characters who go through a lot of shit. I mean, The Punisher's a really good fucking TV show. But
the thing, he's like abusive. He abuses the people he considers friends. He abuses the person he considers his daughter.
How does he do that to Luna? I don't remember that.
Remember when he forced her to burn 300 taxidermy owls overnight?
I wouldn't call that abuse. I don't like. He's not whipping her to do it. It's just.
it's more like...
Well, okay. He also stalks his employees. Like, remember when he broke into their house in the 5th episode of season 1?
Oh yeah.
So you see, that's supposed to be funny. Therefore, I can't judge him for it.
That's not what I was implying at all.
No,
Yeah.
I was.
No, they're mocking the fans that say that. Because, like, the main thing about it is, like, when you're watching a character go through, like, okay, let's not even look at the fact of that. The relationship shit, he hurt a lot of fucking people. Like, it's not even just, like, it's like, oh, yeah, but to us, those are nameless characters, so we shouldn't give a shit about them. No, those are still people in this world that canonically got hurt by Blitzo. Or by Blitz, sorry. Like, they got hurt by him. We see all of them. We see even one of them just break down and start crying. Even like, oh, they're having a party about people who hate Blitzo. It's like, yeah, they were fucking heartbroken. He hurt so many people just, like, and not only just...
Here's the thing, it's a party literally made to help the people who were hurt by him be okay.
But it's like, it's not...
I mean, it's sure it's petty, but at the same time, he's such a horrible person that the people that he hurts need help.
Yeah. Like, they're actually, like, and it's like, you know, one thing is, oh, well, they're just sad and they'll be okay, but it's like, they're not, obviously, they're crying. There's even people who are there that are just...
The show, it's that, okay, say that about Blitz and then people will be mad. He's sad, he'll be okay.
Yeah, it's like, if you said that about any of those characters, they'd be like, oh, it's fine. He'll grow out of it, and it's like, no, he won't. He just got broken up with the one person that he actually gave a shit about. I'm like, oh yeah, what if that, like, reverse that on
like when you're
everybody else?
depressed and it's like when you're depressed and have anxiety, and then your parents say, "Hey, don't feel that way." Gee, what an idea!
Yeah, what a great idea. I wish I could have thought of that.
Great idea.
And then, like, not only just that, it's like when you watch the show and you see these characters who are supposed to be, like, characters you love and you're like, yes, I want to see these guys keep going on. You watch Blitzo, like, oh, well, Blitzo, he just walked into a store and blew it up. Oh, what a whimsical guy. It's like, what the fuck did he do?
You know what it kind of reminds me of? I mean, I'm watching Family Guy, and I like it so far. But it kind of reminds me, it's kind of like if they wanted you to, I mean, I don't know if they do this in the later seasons. At least in the earlier seasons, Quagmire's just a walking joke. You know?
Yeah, he's not a good person. You're not supposed to like
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
not supposed
the joke. He's a horrible person. You're not supposed to like him.
Yeah, and then like,
And it would be like if Family Guy wanted to make Quagmire the main character.
or like give him his own TV show, like they did with Cleveland.
Hey Peter, how come I have my own TV show? Quagmire, you're a racist.
Quagmire.
That's an actual clip.
Yeah.
That's an actual clip I've seen.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just crazy to me that we're like okay. Now outside of that, Fizzaroli and basically his family We don't know really a whole lot about them either. Like, do we? I mean, I know there were some episodes.
He's probably the best
they do-
side character.
Yeah, he's the best
Not that
side
that's
character.
saying
He
much.
still gets the most development.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
do like when he and Blitz. But I'm messing up terribly. I do like when he and Blitz reconnect.
It feels very rushed, honestly. Like it's just like, oh,
I mean,
but this is how it happened. Oh, okay.
I guess it's
now
more
they're
than
and now
just
they're
that.
best friends.
Like,
go
because
ahead.
sometimes
Sorry.
relationships can be bandaged up in the one day.
Well, okay. So it was like over the course of one scene. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't instantaneous. But
It
it
wasn't instantaneous. It was the course of the episode.
It was still way too quick, though, that they forgave each other.
I wish that they had an episode fully diverging on all of it instead of one or two.
No, but don't you see? We gotta bring back the funny cowboy villain. Who
God.
doesn't? Who's like,
No, we'll talk about Striker in a minute because we're still in Fizzaroli, and I mean they started him off as like a villain, but like he doesn't.
once again, the only reason. No, seriously, I mean it. He has a worse track record than Doofenshmirtz because Doofenshmirtz actually has won before, but it was in a timeline that Candace erased. So Doofenshmirtz has technically at least one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm really just trying to think. Like they don't really do a whole lot with Fizzaroli outside of the redemption. I'm putting that in air quotes.
Rekindled. Or
yeah, a rekindled. Yeah, they rekindled.
Well, and then they made an episode about him where he like breaks free of his abusive boss, but that hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Yeah, and that's sad because I wish we got to see a little bit more than just, oh, well, they used to be arch enemies, now they're besties. Now everybody's talking to each other again, everybody likes each other. Bada bing, bada boom. Next episode.
Okay, look. Here's the thing. Okay. I get that. That they realize. I
understand where you're coming from, though.
I get that Fizzaroli realized Blitz didn't intentionally hurt him. That doesn't. But what about on Blitz's part? Fizzaroli publicly humiliated him.
Yeah.
And that wasn't an incident. Referring to Ozzy.
Yeah. I know what you're referring to. I just can't believe we still don't really know. I get, like, a lot of people are like, oh, just wait till season 3. I'm like, guys, I can only, like, this is the second season. This is like if, it's like if we got the Punisher before we got Daredevil. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
You know what it would be like? It would be like if Gravity Falls didn't introduce Bill until season 2.
Yeah, and, like, rush to the finish line to try to include him in everything. To be more like...
Okay. I mean, I guess from a pacing perspective, you could say that's kind of like the Collector from the Owl House, but at least the Collector is still like... The Collector is still foreshadowed throughout season 2. You know what I mean? He doesn't come out of nowhere, even if it is sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess let's talk about the villains. The first villains I want to talk about are the first villains we ever got introduced to in the series, the Cherubs.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the family from episode 1.
No.
No, the Cherubs are alright.
Do you mean the first recurring villains?
Yes, recurring villains, not...
We're talking about recurring villains.
Yes. So, we're talking about Cherubs.
Well, okay, you know what, can I say this, actually, before we talk about the recurring villains? I feel like the show has a problem where it kills off the most interesting villains in their first episode. Like that guy from... Like that ghost who can see into your mind.
Yeah.
And let's see, who else? The family of murderers.
Yeah, they all get killed off relatively quick.
Let's see, who else gets killed in their first episode? I mean, I guess the monster catfish wasn't an interesting villain, but to be fair, that episode didn't.
I guess same with the Robo Fritz from Lululand. He gets eaten by the dragon.
But that just goes for Fizzaroli as a whole.
Okay, that one I'm fine with because it foreshadows Fizzaroli. That one I actually really hate.
Instead of just,
Hey,
oh,
Hey, you're right.
yeah, like,
RoboFit served its purpose.
yeah. Good job, Professor Raleigh. You did a great job.
Now get eaten by a dragon. Yum.
Yeah.
Then let's see. Episode. Oh, okay. Striker and Stella.
But let's talk about, like, I mean,
Secret Agent.
I guess we should just really stick with, like, the main guys we see. So, Fizzaroli, like, you know, we already talked about him a little bit. Thought
I
he was
guess-
a little rough. We should talk about...
Paramon, the Cherubs, the Agents.
Yeah, so let's start with...
Striker,
We gotta start with
Crimson.
Cherubs because they were the first one we... These are the first big get bads. How they were set up was, like, basically, this was anti-imp. These were people who were trying to save people rather than let them commit suicide. Which, on one hand, neat concept.
The first major villain of the series, and they have no character.
Like, okay. To be honest, the setup was intriguing. Like, it's a cool idea.
Well, okay.
Like, yes, of course, the angels will never be okay with the devils. Like, of course they wouldn't. Or the demons, sorry.
They do technically have characters, but their characters are basically they're the angel equivalent of the IMP members.
Yes, exactly. But the difference is like, it's mostly just the main three. There's not a fourth one. But,
Well, unless you count that deer who showed up for one scene, but isn't actually major.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, we don't count that one.
Yeah, no.
And then, basically, in this entire...
Responsible for getting them in or not.
Whatever,
it's stupid.
Yeah, the Cherubs, in the first introduction we see of them, they don't really do a whole lot. All they do is... no, we're anti-imp! Hi, guys! Hi! And then, they get kicked out of heaven, and then they stay in the real world.
They get kicked out for no reason, by the way.
Yeah, they get kicked out because of something out of their control. But I think...
Oh, I'm sorry, but your actions resulted in the death of the human. No, they didn't. It was the pianist, technically. And I still don't think he should be blamed, since obviously if you were in that situation, you would want to get fucked out of it.
Well, in that case, then indirectly responsible.
I will say this, though. One of the big things I liked about that... Oh, sorry, Sirsplaysalot. Well, I was going to say that was mostly...
Oh, no! They even accomplished the goal of getting the guy to not want to kill himself.
Yeah, but, like, the thing is about it is... I don't mind that that's how that ends. You can say it's stupid. Yeah, I agree. That they shouldn't have got kicked out of heaven for that. But I think it was fine because that was just kind of like... Now they have a full reason for why they want to stop Imp. Because now they have a personal motive behind it, while also possibly wanting a reason to try to get right back into heaven. Which I know the deer... Didn't she say, like, it was impossible for them to do that?
Yes. Is there anything we can do to get back in? No. Even though
no.
Time you see them, they're like, hey, if we do this, they'll let us. Nothing. Well, they literally said they
one shot at heaven.
Yeah.
Did you forget about that?
I bet what they were mostly thinking was maybe when they somehow die again, they'll go to heaven, but at the same time...
How does that work? Would they even have an afterlife?
Would they go to heaven?
Yeah, would they even go to heaven, or...
I mean, the demons don't have afterlife when they get killed.
Yeah, they just kind of die, and they stay dead. Like, they just stay in the void for a while. They don't come back.
Demons die and don't come back.
I'm just imagining the mental image of a bunch of demon corpses in a black void.
Wait, oh my god, wait a second. Okay, you know what's kind of the anti-Helluva boss when you really think about it? It's Big Friends. No, it's the anti-Hasbro Hotel.
But what I was going to say was... I was just going to bring up now, since we're talking about the Cherubs. Like, when they got introduced, they don't really do a whole lot. I mean, like the first time, which, mind you, they were mostly just competition.
They're jokes within the episode. They don't actually do anything to fight back. They just... They just...
the very end in the opera where they do fight.
Yeah, for most of the episode, it's just they show the guy something, IMP ruins it, and then the Cherubs don't even rebut it. They just leave.
Yeah, that's true. But I was fine with them because
also, by the way, that
episode
doesn't even make sense to begin with, because why the fuck didn't that guy just go back into the aging machine?
That's what I thought. Like, why didn't he just go back? I mean, unless they like destroyed the machine. Like,
which did not happen.
I was just saying, like, if that happened, then fine. If you shown it, then yeah, I would have been like, oh, well, that explains it. They can't do it because because they broke it. But no, they didn't. They just kind of do it. They just kind of don't do it because they didn't think about it.
Okay. If you're gonna say, well, he's old, so he can't walk. Okay, he's also rich. He has servants.
Someone could do that job for him.
In fact, the cherub carry him around in his bed. Could he just ask, hey, if you guys can carry me around, can you just like put me back in that machine, please?
Exactly, but they don't because I don't know because like
Stupid.
doesn't that just
I
go
don't know.
against? Doesn't that just,
Actually, that's a good plot. That's a good point you brought up.
like my question
Why
is
don't the cherubs just bring him in the machine to reverse his age?
No, okay. Once again,
Since their goal is to save lives.
they're supposed to make him not want to kill himself, but the only reason he wants to kill himself is because he's old. So, problem solved.
yeah, just throw him back in the machine. But they don't do that because instead it's like, but isn't it funny that the old man says money? It's like, no, I want to see.
It's funny how his One True Love is like a stock image of.
Yeah, I do like that. That was
dollars.
kind of silly. But one of the things that I really, really did not like about the cherubs was when they came back. Because then they teamed up with the agents, which also, okay, I'm just going to say this now. They had
to do a villain crossover.
Yeah, and like I'm fine if they want to do that, but my question is, okay, so are they allowed to be seen by the humans or no? Like, is that
they are?
So
they are, and it's weird because, well, my question is it okay if the imps are seen by humans? Because sometimes they wear disguises, sometimes they don't, and when they don't, there aren't any consequences. But they also go, hey, you can't be out here without disguises. But then when they don't,
I mean, the people that see them are dead or get killed anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's true,
Yeah.
but the only reason why I ask this question is because you see like characters like Veronica wearing like gear out, and then but like in the opening scene, the angels are disguised as a human, and then like
no, but then in the cherub episode, they're just floating around anonymously.
Yeah, so like
carrying this old man around.
Yeah, and everybody sees it, but then like
also if hell can't be revealed, which is stupid anyway, since like isn't Christianity the most widespread and doesn't it have the most followers worldwide out of any religion?
I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah. So why does it matter? Why does it matter if the angels and demons are discovered if most people believe in heaven and hell anyway?
I'm guessing it's because it's more of like they'll try to like bring hell and heaven down to earth in some way. I don't fully know because it's very confusing. The lore of Helluva Boss is not very intricate. They don't do a good job explaining it because they're missing a whole lot of context because there's like as you said, Roxy, like why don't they just like fly around with their dicks hanging out? Because like I mean they should.
Once again, most people believe in hell anyway.
Yeah, so
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Wait, not just that, but like it's like in Christmas movies with Santa Claus, where like adults don't believe in Santa Claus for some reason, children do. But it's like, okay, if Santa Claus does exist, but like adults aren't allowed to see him, how does anybody even know about Santa Claus to begin with?
Yeah, how does Santa Claus even like parallel in the real world? Like, but then like, another thing I just thought of, like, okay, so the next villains we're going to talk about, which is the agents, they have pictures, and they gave it to the government, and the government gives them more funding.
So like it doesn't even make sense because it's like, oh, so we have these pictures, but the government doesn't believe them. And then at the end of the episode, they're like, hey, look, we have pictures, so now the government's going to believe us.
I guess because it's video footage, because they could just say, because like didn't they have video footage of all that was happening too? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they showed that, and they're like, okay, so you can tell that these guys aren't wearing costumes. Can we please get more funding for this bullshit? And then they're like, ah, yeah, fuck it. Because, like, they were coming into the real world hurting people. We even see Stolas hurting people in that clip. So my only question would be, if this show wants to bring in the idea that, like, these people don't believe that... Okay, it's either they believe in hell or they don't. There's succubuses that kill, like, that go into the real world and party, and, like, wearing, like, disguises. So obviously they have to be disguised.
Okay,
what demons can and can't be disguised?
Okay. No. The reason that I'll at least give the agents this. They're at least funny, unlike the other ones.
No. Okay, yeah, you know what? Let's talk about the agents. The agents are way more competent. Like, they actually make way more sense for, like, why they would be villains. One, they are the most personally affected because they are humans, and they obviously work for an agency that, you know, very much frowns upon people dying. So of course they would be like,
they're also researching it. They're basically scientists trying to figure out how the society works.
Yeah, and like they want to,
and two, they actually like managed to capture Blitz and Mox in the beginning.
Yeah,
they actually have interesting characteristics. Like they're actually funny. They're just,
too.
Which one of the biggest things about, like say. Basically, like, the Cherubs are like most MCU villains, and the CIA agents are like Ronin, where they get close to accomplishing their goals, but they're stopped because the other characters had a good loophole to get around all the bullshit that was happening. So they kind of got fucked over in that regard. That's why I hate the fact that...
They only don't win in their first episode because Stolas comes out of nowhere with no explanation.
Then
like the show literally knows
that explanation, but it was kind of weak.
No, his explanation was, "I have my ways," so not an explanation.
Okay, so never mind, not at all.
Oh, thank goodness!
I just handled that problem away.
So here's the thing. In the first episode, we can see him spying on Blitz using a bubble in his bath, and if that's okay, so that's the only setup way for him to be able to spy on them. But when he shows up in Truth Seekers, he's not wet. He's fully clothed, so clearly he wasn't taking a bath.
Or maybe he
saw it while brushing his teeth.
Quickly.
Maybe he saw it while brushing his teeth.
Yes.
Like, all right, wait. Does Stolas even have teeth? I don't want to know the answer to that. Never mind.
No, birds don't have teeth. Well, okay, you know what? There are frames with the bird characters or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But they're so it's so small it's barely noticeable.
So, I guess since we should, the CIA agents, I would say so far was like one of the more competent threats, since they actually, they did something. They're not just...
And once again, they only lost on a technicality, really.
Yeah. And then we got Stryker, which a lot of people like.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Stryker.
This one upsets me.
This genuinely upsets me with how downhill it is.
He was set up at first as like a competent rival, almost like, kind of like...
It was like a cool cowboy figure. Kind of like Aaron Black in Mortal Kombat.
A rival, because even though he was also a mercenary, but like, unlike them, one, he didn't have access to the living world. Two, he had his own style, so he wasn't just I am.
Yeah, he's not just I am you, but better.
I am P, but more evil. I mean,
honestly, he's kind of more like a bounty hunter, which is cool because honestly, bounty hunters are and should always be like these intimidating guys who have all this power.
And he can, and also with the fact that he is a bounty hunter, I thought it was interesting because they set it up that he can be hired by the other villains. He can work with.
Yes.
And for another thing, he actually came off as an intimidating threat in his first debut because
he was also
he won against Moxie and Millie in one fight, and he didn't win or lose the second one. He just ran away.
I will say this, though. One of my favorite things about him was how well he was cast. Norman Reedus does a really good job voice acting
They
him.
didn't get that consistent about him.
Sadly, they couldn't get him back to continue because of the fact that when he was
He's
asked,
expensive.
no,
I know.
the reason why he was
fine.
able to do it beforehand is because he wasn't busy. But then, of course,
Yeah,
when
it's completely fine that he left because he's busy. I just find it funny that he's such a ruined character. He's not even voiced by the same guy anymore.
yeah, exactly.
And his next episode, he's just ruined.
Oh, yeah.
In literally the next,
I mean-
in literally the next episode, they make him a joke by having like a massive ego, a giant penis statue, and he still loses to. And he still loses.
Yeah.
And then
That's another thing with him later on. He never wins a fight again.
He shows
Never
up 2 episodes
stripping away his
later, and not
intimidation
only
factor.
Hold on, one at a time, please.
he shows up 2 episodes later, and not only loses but gets injured.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he gets completely.
He gets completely wrecked in both.
He literally gets set on fire.
Yeah.
And it sucks
Well,
because he was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Like I said, he gets his intimidation factor stripped away because all he does is lose now.
Yeah, like he loses to, like, okay, the next time we see him, like, honestly, when we see him again, he starts off badass. Like, he's kidnapping Stolas, and this is going to be like a highway robbery, train espionage mission where everybody's going to have to go out of their way. But then it's like, even though Stolas is like, nah, I gotta go.
Once again, even though literally in that situation, when he showed up and started shooting at Stolas could have literally just frozen him right there.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He doesn't even try to escape. He's just like, oh, I've been kidnapped, come help me, even though we've seen that he was a bad. Yeah.
He ties him to his horse. He ties him up in a way that makes it so he could have just easily wobbled himself off.
Yeah, but that's one.
Didn't they explain like there's like angelic rope, therefore.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But that doesn't, okay. Here's the thing: just because it's angelic rope doesn't mean he can't use gravity to advantage. He's not tied to the horse. He's just put on top of it. He's only tied to himself, so he can literally just like lead himself back and forth to rock himself off the horse.
And then we also see the fact that.
Oh yeah. Also, Stryker's stupid enough to let Stolas call for help, because here's the thing: when Stolas calls for help in that episode, like Stryker literally lets him do the call, and then he goes, "You know, I can hear you, right?" And then he takes the phone and breaks it.
Yeah, it's like you could have.
You idiot! Why didn't you just
smack it out of your hand?
Why didn't you just not let him do it?
Or better yet, why didn't he already strip him of his phones or any other devices that can help him? Because we need.
Or better yet, why didn't he just tie him to the fucking horse?
Or better yet, wait, we're not doing this. We could just keep going back and forth on that. But one of the biggest things that I really hated about this Stryker was the fact that we see him be cool, and then he loses to the exact same imps that he had no trouble of throwing into the fucking shed previous episodes ago. He loses to Moxie and Millie again. Shouldn't he have learned that these guys are still tough? I mean, and by the way, it isn't really losing.
Oh yeah. Also, okay. One problem I do have with him in his first episode is the fact that he just throws them into the basement.
Yeah, but I'm fine with that because I'm guessing he wasn't really going to want to kill him. I'm guessing the main reason is because if you kill someone's daughter on their property, you're gonna get fucked over pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, presumably he would have still wanted to work with the family before getting discovered because he was trying to be undercover anyway.
Mm-hmm. And again, all right, I'm not gonna lie, the new voice for Stryker just doesn't hit.
The problem isn't that he doesn't kill them. The problem is that he just throws them in and doesn't tie them up or confiscate their weapons.
That is true. That is a big problem because Stryker should be smarter than that, especially if you're a fucking hitman.
Then again, as established in season 2, he's not good at tying people up.
Yeah, and then whenever he kidnaps Stolas, he does do damage to Stolas. He does hurt Stolas.
And then Stolas is just fine 2 episodes later. We don't even see him get out of the hospital.
Yeah, and fuck, stupid. It's so stupid that they do that.
So stupid.
Also, shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Keep going.
I was just going to say, it makes me even more mad when you realize that these are supposed to, like, he, along with everybody else, he is the threat that they should be scared of, because he is, 1, a bounty hunter, and 2, we've seen him deal with these kinds of people before, so why in the world is he just an idiot?
He's also the villain in the he's also the villain the show seems to consider, I guess, the main villain, since he shows up the most and is able to work with the other villains.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's so dumb. Like,
But here's the thing: they made him lame.
I'm gonna
They
talk
made
about
him
Crimson
lame.
now.
Talk about who?
Crimson, Moxie's dad.
Yes, Crimson. Again, like Stryker, I think he had a strong appearance. Forcing Moxie, still having a rough iron fist around.
That season 2, episode 3 is one of my favorites.
I do like that episode.
Despite some of the tonal whiplash, it is still good. Compelling and funny.
I do like that episode a lot. I think they did a good job explaining the backstory between...
Even if it has one of my least favorite characters, Chaz.
Yeah, Chaz sucks. But I don't think we can fully blame this episode for Chaz.
I find it funny. He literally dies in that episode, and there's still merchandise on him.
Okay, honestly, I see Chaz as how the world sees the Shocker. Or not the Shocker, but like, I guess like a better example is like Big Wheel, where he's a joke villain. Like, he's not really intimidating. He's not really intimidating, and the most he does is like, he's a joke. He's a joke character. And then, like, he gets his ass fucking kicked because he lied. And then, well, we all know what happens to poor Chaz at the end of that episode. Rest in peace, you won't be missed.
Why did you use the word poor?
Mostly meaning that I don't.
Because he wasn't actually rich.
Yeah, that's.
By the way,
I thought you meant poor as in you felt bad for him, and I was like, no.
And then after we see them return. We see the Mafia return, and I'm like, fuck yeah, we get to see these guys again. And they're working with a bounty hunter. And they fucking suck at their job, and they don't even beat them. They don't even beat them. Like, again. Look, okay, again, what made...
I really hope Crimson did not die in that episode.
Yeah, if they died in that episode, that's a complete waste of characters.
He has so much potential.
It doesn't even make sense for Stryker to have survived, because the building literally collapsed on top of him.
What am I saying? Oh, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they could have had a secret way out. Like, that they took. Like, I mean, if
Stryker could survive that, then hopefully Crimson did.
Yeah, like, if they somehow survived that...
Oh, yeah, also, may I just say, I just remembered now, I find it really funny that in the song from Western Energy, they describe Stryker as the best assassin in the Ring of Wrath, and I'm like, I do not buy that phrase.
No.
He is awful.
Yeah, he lets him get away. Yay. Stryker, he's Stryker. The fucking
villain. You can't even kill a guy who be stabbed in the heart.
True. And then...
How do you mess it up? You stabbed him in the heart! How is he still alive?
Yes. That's my explanation. It just sucks.
It's just like... No, you know what it is? It's like, apparently in the original Jurassic Park book, Ian Malcolm dies, but because people wanted a sequel, anyway, the author said, "Oh well, he was just with some really bad doctors." So then they brought him to a different doctor, and those doctors updated his status to alive.
Oh, thank
it's like
goodness.
It's like that because Stolas was stabbed in the heart. So
yeah,
he absolutely should not be alive anymore.
And then, like, what makes it even worse is just the fact that, like, Stryker and the Mafia just don't do anything outside of this. Like, we don't see them again.
Yeah. Also, once again, I said it with the Cherubs and the Secret Agents too quickly to do a villain crossover. Even worse in this case because Marky's dad was introduced 3 episodes before.
I guess we should okay. So overall, the villains of this show are either filled with
Oh yeah, and then there's also
They have so
Stella.
much potential, or they wasted it.
There's also Stella, who's just a joke.
who?
Stella,
Stella.
Oh yeah,
she's a
Stella.
bitch.
Stella. All she does hire Hitman. Hitman doesn't do job. She tells Hitman to stop doing the job. The only. Oh wait, actually no. There is also her brother.
There's also her icy
Yeah, I was
cousin,
gonna
or brother, or whatever.
I was gonna say her brother is more of a villain than she.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She's too
He's
stupid
the
to
type
do
of
anything.
pompish asshole you want to punch in the face, which does happen, and it
Yeah,
was
I can't
satisfying.
believe they took Elon Musk in Helluva.
Oh my god, no way. But yeah, this was out of all the villains, it's the best were the CIA agents, but their reappearance weren't as good. But at least they showed they buffed up. They were ready to go into help, but they can't get in there yet. I feel like in season 3, if they do get in there, oh, it's fucking on. It's going to be on with these guys. I feel like it's not going to be. I don't want it to be oh, they get out of it. I want the main characters of this season. Okay, this sounds weird. I want them to get their ass handed to them. Not because I hate them or anything, but because I want them to have some kind of conflict other than just, oh, well, we almost lost. Thank goodness Stolas came in and saved the day, am I right? It's stop.
some conflict other than listen, Stella's gonna break up for the 17th time.
Yeah, I want to see more. I want to see and before anybody says, "Oh, you just want the action. You only watch it for the action." No, I don't, because I want to see these characters improve. It's like how Iron Man always improves after Iron Man. Like something happens to Iron Man, the next thing he does is he fixes it because he knows when to fix his mistakes. That's cool. That's interesting. We get to see what these characters are now subsequently doing because one of them made a mistake. Now they are going to repent for that mistake, and they're going to do something different, and it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be cool. But we haven't seen that yet because this show just doesn't want to give it to us for some fucking reason.
It would be so awesome.
Yeah, it would be
so
cool.
I guess since we talked about the main characters and villains, do we want to talk about the tone of the series? What would you guys describe Helluva Boss?
Okay, so I would describe it as an unintentional. Well, it's trying to be a comedy, but when it tries to be a comedy, it doesn't do it well. But when it doesn't try to be a comedy and tries to be serious, it ends up becoming a comedy because it's incompetent.
All right. What would you say, tonally, is this show? Sirsplaysalot.
A mess. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize. I didn't realize you were gonna
spotlight.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't realize you said Sirsplaysalot. Sorry.
Go.
Anyways, although I guess for me the comedy does work, though some of it can feel out of place, like with the mansion the season 2 episode 3, like I mentioned. But for the most part, I don't laugh out loud, but that much. But I do laugh internally. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you laugh on the inside.
Yeah. Plus, I do buy into most of the drama that the show sprinkles in. Mm-hmm. So I actually do feel for these characters.
And that's good, at least.
So it works for me.
Yeah.
At least.
So you're probably the person out of us who cares about the show the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine, obviously. That's 100% fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Watch it.
I was just pointing it out.
Yeah. Out of everybody here, you like this show the most.
Yeah.
That's good. And I'm glad that you like the show. For me, I'm a mixed bag on this show. I like a lot of the characters, some of the characters. I like some of the plot elements. My biggest takeaway from the show, however, for most of it, I would say my biggest problem with this show is the comedy. I don't laugh a lot. I don't like that the characters excessively cuss. I don't think it's funny. I don't... And, I get, a lot of people are like, well, it's just not your humor. I get that. But whenever I watch a show like The Boys, and I crack up at, a lot of the fucking stupid shit they say, because, one, I do think it is funny whenever they're, when they make, when Homelander says something stupid like, yummers, out of nowhere, It is funny, but it's also like it's
Wait, oh my god, like, Homelander says yummers?
yeah. He says
Yummer.
yeah. He goes
Oh,
up
yeah,
to A Train. He goes up to A Train
okay,
and he pokes him in the stomach
I'm
and he
very
says
excited.
milkshake.
I'm very excited then to watch your playthrough of Night in the Woods.
Um, and then there's also the fact that the show, like the drama elements, do, in my opinion, they fall on its face because a lot of the characters, sometimes it feels like it's their own undoing. Like, oh, you did this, but it's like, oh, but they didn't mean to. I'm like, I get they didn't mean to, but they still did it. You know.
Also, once again, Solus just denies ever sucking, even though he does. Like, the show hasn't really confronted him with the fact that he is like that yet.
Not yet, and maybe, and
You know?
I'm hoping season 2 does, but I don't know because we don't know when. I mean, season 3. Sorry, season 3. But we don't know when we'll get that because season 3, 1 isn't out yet, and 2, we got a long while until then, and hopefully they do.
Yeah, and also once again, it's technically not even guaranteed to come out.
Yeah. Did they say anything about it actually? Did they?
I don't think they did.
Not that I know of.
Well, we do have a while until the show is officially like. I mean, Helluva has been Hotel, which we're not going to cover in this episode because we are.
Well, let's save it for another time.
Yeah.
Also because I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, you said you need to definitely, and I get that. I guess. Do we have anything else we want to say? Fully, like about Helluva Boss. Like, do you guys have any expectations for season 3? What do you guys want to see?
What do you guys think of the music since it's a musical?
Of
Yeah,
Helluva
since
Boss?
it's I forgot. That's an important part of it. It's a musical.
Helluva Boss is a
I say the songs are really good for the most part, anyway.
It's a musical. Don't you remember the legendary?
I just wish they would release them separately from the show, like with Has Been. So, I mean, I've been listening to Has Been soundtrack a lot lately.
Why haven't they released the songs on music platforms yet?
Maybe just time management. Like they're having a.
Imagine they just release. Imagine they
maybe they would have the money to if they would stop making mouse pads.
Imagine they just release like an album for the entire series once it's over. Because keep in
That's
mind,
probably what they're saving it for, honestly.
They said there were going to be 4 seasons.
Yeah, I heard that they were going to just do 4 seasons, which makes sense. I mean,
so we're technically halfway done with the show.
I mean,
well, didn't they? I think they said season 3 is going to have 16 episodes.
Ooh, I feel like what we're going to.
Yeah, it keeps getting bigger.
16 episodes. 16 episodes.
Season 1 had 8 episodes. Season 2 has 12. And now 3 is going to have 16.
Yeah, so they're just having 4 each season, it looks like. Anyway.
We are going to have a big... We're going to have a big season, guys. I feel like when season 3 comes out, like, fully, we should do a podcast episode going over the entire...
Guys, I was just going to say, 16 episodes, not a single one without Millie, probably.
Oh my god, that would be horrible. Like, oh, we did it, guys.
You're like, what were they thinking?
Yeah, what are they thinking?
No, imagine she's just on maternity leave for the entire...
Oh my god, that'd be horrible. That'd be so stupid.
Alright,
well, I guess this episode...
Or she's on maternity leave living with her parents or whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna let them do the adventure, you know, it's fine. It's fine. What are you talking about? I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all, okay?
It's like Indiana Jones' friend in a Temple of Doom where he's like, oh man, we had so many great adventures together, none of which we will ever see.
Yeah, none of which we'll never see. Anybody have anything else they want to say? About...
No. I think we said everything.
Alright.
Who's the hottest character in the show?
Obviously.
In your opinion?
Obviously me. I'm in the show. I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to make a whole deal out of it. But me, sorry.
No, I don't buy that you're in the show because I don't buy that you're in the show because you're non-binary and therefore would probably get even less screen
Yeah.
time, and would probably get even less screen time than the total 6 minutes of the one stream.
Wait, didn't her sister only get a phone call? It's like that's all we heard of her.
She's had like 40 total seconds of screen time within the series, and then in a 5 minute short.
Jesus.
And you know what? Since you haven't seen the short, if you want to know what the short is about,
What?
at the end it's like, man, I really miss you. It would be cool if we could see each other more often.
I just realized we didn't even talk about the shorts.
Oh, well, we weren't going to talk about it because I still have not seen them yet, but I will.
No, seriously, the first short literally ends with them being like, "Hey, we should see each other more often." That's a good idea. And then
No, we're in the podcast with that too. We should see each other more often. That's a good idea.
The only time we see them interact in the entire second season is on a phone call.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Yeah, so that's it for this episode of the Vulture Culture Podcast. I want to thank my other two co-hosts, RoxyReviews and Sirsplaysalot. Do you guys have anything you guys want to say? Like, shout each other out, or like, give you guys, say where they can find you guys?
I do have a YouTube. Oh, you
go
first.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Roxy. You can start off.
Well, we're about as organized as I am.
Yeah, no, right? Go ahead, Roxy. You go ahead.
I have a YouTube channel. I'm just going to assume Caroline's going to put the link in the description.
Yep. I will have a link. Sirsplaysalot?
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel, but I currently have no videos on it, so follow me on DeviantArt instead for the time being.
And I will have both those linked down below. You guys can obviously go find me. I have the most YouTube channels. I collect channels like Infinity Stones. You can also find my Blue Sky and all the other good stuff down below. And subscribe. This is new. This new thing we're trying out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next podcast episode. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.